because let me tell you, oh, thank you. I just love what I do, and I've been in the insurance industry for 12 years. I started when I just got married, and my little itty bitty town didn't have very many opportunities, and here comes insurance, and then here comes family heritage, and I haven't looked back. I love the people we work with, and you guys, y'all making me feel so nice and warm. So hopefully this year I'll get to meet some of you in the field, talking about our sales technology. So great week so far, everyone. Well, let me share my screen. So when we talk about sales technology, some people think that's just CRM or just the mobile sales app, but it's the whole ecosystem that we have. So it's not just CRM MSA, but also fit, technology in general. For the most part, it takes a village. There's so many different, if I could just show you, I need to do the plot us out, but there's so many different teams working behind the scenes to bring you that app right there in your hands. So, and I do want to share that it's me speaking today, but again, there's teams of people, not just in the McKinney area, but you're talking in Cleveland. There's all kinds of developers just all over the United States, working for you guys. It's what's in your hand. Everyone wants it to be the best thing possible for you. So let me tell you, this year we have a series of planned enhancements or updates, revamps, if you want to call them, for the mobile sales app specifically. We're working to integrate a lot of those features that we love in Salesforce and bring them down into the mobile sales app so you can use them right there in your mobile device, something you're used to with MSA. And of course, we're partnering with the field this year. A lot of folks have come to us, given us great, amazing feedback about what worked best for you guys, agents in the field. Also, every time you have someone shadow you from corporate or work with you, we're being observant. We're taking down notes because what we do on this side is get together and discuss what makes sense to get updated. So if you look here on my screen, here are the 4 plan releases we currently have. It's not the only ones we'll have for this year for mobile sales app. It's just where we're starting. And where we're starting is quite a lot. So I'm going to give you sneak peeks of all those phases, but we're kicking off the first one here. Stay tuned because in the first weeks of April, we are releasing the first of 4 releases. So we are focusing on improving the leads management experience. We're also realizing that more and more people are utilizing, I'm sorry, or their market is B2B. So we're thinking, put on our B2B hat and trying to also adapt MSA to work better for folks that work in that market. We're also talking about bringing in all of your active book of business right there on your MSA. So if you ever get a phone call or someone's interested or curious, a policyholder and what they have, you can just go right there in your mobile sales app and look up their info. And also, release 4, right? This is going to be closer towards the summer months now, but we're talking about what happens after a sale and how all that gets tracked, and also bringing in residential prospect sourcing right there into the mobile sales app. So instead of just talking about it, let me show you. Now, some of these screens are mock-ups, and of course, I did our best, I guess, with screenshots, but I just want to give you the idea of where this is going. So first of all, on release 1, again, this is coming in April. So we have heard you guys tell us that, Haley, I need to access that leads page from anywhere in the demo. So whether I've just started or whether I'm at the app and I need to remember what level coverage they currently have, right? I need to be able to access it. So what we ended up doing is we ended up moving. So if you remember, it's typically up at the top right corner. The leads page is now at the bar and you can access it from anywhere. So any part of your demo, including the application, if you need to bounce back into that leads page, you can. The other thing we also heard folks tell us is, I prefer to work visually, give me a map, right? Instead of just the list. So we've made this a real nice customizable option for y'all. For those that prefer to work in a map, the default view of leads management is now going to be in this map form, but you still can switch over to lists. So if you prefer to use a list, you switch over for the day and it'll stay that way for you, or just go back and forth between them. But that's one of the improvements we also did. In addition to that, we made it so that the sync speeds are quicker. I know some of you probably have experience at times when you're loading leads, you get a little sync error at the bottom. So there's stuff that we've done behind the scenes to update that. So this process will be smoother and hopefully quicker for y'all. In addition to that, we've updated the dispositioning pages. This is the one you're typically used to seeing. You'll still see that because it's considered what we would call triggered. So if you do an action, it's going to pop up regardless. But the manual one, we've added some nice little features to it. So if you take a look, we've started to color code some of the follow-up, some of the statuses on here. We worked with a lot of people in the field to give us feedback on what type of status is, also in shadowing folks. It gave us a big idea of what needed to be updated. And you don't see this here, but we've included 2 more additional statuses too for B2B, such as enrollment set and enrollment completed. So you'll get to kind of tag your businesses and your people like that so you can track it all easier. And the other thing we heard you all say is it's nice that I can pick a follow-up day or an appointment day, but I really need to put a time. Okay, let me see a time. So we've added a place to pick a time as well. So now if you sort your whole list, if you want to look that way at your appointments, not only are you seeing dates, but you're going to be seeing times as well. So we've added those features into there. In addition to that, we heard, there's a lot of clicks and you go to this like new page and then you got to get back out of there. So here's something we changed is we added a slide out. Okay, so this is the lead details now, right? The lead details, if you remember before, you had to tap on the I, or sorry, more info, and then it would expand. And then you would tap on the I and then a new page will pop up, right? This is what's getting replaced. So this slide out that comes out from here, you can still add your notes. You can do talk to text if you wanted to. Tap to activate, you got a new button. The follow-up is a dispositions. You can add referrals from here too. And you can still tap and add prospects. Also what's happening, this is just an ad hoc prospects, but you'll also be able to tap and hold and select that you're dropping a business prospect. So even though it didn't get sourced through Data Axle Genie, when you come to the map, you can stop in front of a business and say, let me just go ahead and add that in. And the app will track that it's not a person, that it's actually a company entity. Well, you'll be able to also add employees. Directions, if you've got your GPS enabled and you need to get there, tap here and you can go straight to your lead. And also you can share those directions to your cell phone. If you're like, for example, you're using Google Maps, right? You can share it to your cell phone too. And of course, we're keeping the remove and edit buttons here as well. But you take a look at these 3 new sections. So this is the informational section. That's just kind of basic, I will call it demographic info. It's going to look different just depending on the type of lead and how much information is available about that lead. If you look here at history, now there's a different little section here. You can still put your notes. You still see what type and what the last, if you had a last status here. But what will happen is that history gets tracked, which basically when I say history, I'm saying it's going to show you when you started not application, but when you started a demo, right? And they're a one-legger, right? Their spouse has to be there. It's going to say you started a demo but didn't finish, right? Demo incomplete. If you get all the way to the app and you collected a signature and you're waiting signatures, it's going to also tell you awaiting signatures, right? So all those things, those activities are going to say track for you. So you have complete viewability control of the lead journey from lead to customer. You keep track of that. Also with coverages, if the person is an active customer, you just slide on over to coverages and you'll see all that kind of in its own little boxes as well. So again, all of that stuff is here in this new fancy slide out and you'll get to play with it in just a few weeks, right? This is going to be in your hands. So I mentioned about dropping a business prospect, right? Just earlier here. Well, what do you do with that business prospect? Now you can add employees to them. So I know some business, when you go to enroll, the HR department will give you a list and say, okay, these are the people you can go talk to, or this is their information. You can prepare ahead of time and just go ahead and add in all of those employees right under that business entity. So you're ready to go when you're demoing or signing them up. And of course, the more information you have, the more will auto populate for you when you get to the application. So it'll save you some time. In addition to that, when you search a business, you can also see all of this is a mock-up though, remember, but you'll be able to see all of the employees of that business listed. So another little enhancement there for B2B. Now we're in release 2. Mind you, I actually haven't gotten so much. There's so much other little things behind the scenes that are happening with that app, but you'll get to see for yourself pretty soon. But anyways, so release 2 is happening, right? And what we're adding to that is a really cool feature where you can pick if you want to view your map by just a lead type, like show me all my claims, right? Show me new policy follow-ups. But also you can toggle and say, I just want to see lead statuses. Let me see the pins based on lead status. Who do I need to go back to? Who do I need to call back? Where are these enrollments set? And you can see that visually also on your map. In addition to that, we've had a lot of feedback that it would be nice to have the option to switch over to the map that's more of a satellite view, right? So we've actually decided to implement that and add it to our release 2. So now if you are in a new area, you want to make sure you're at the right building, you can toggle and change that map view to be satellite. Also, we've added a pin key so you can always keep be in the know of what the colors mean of the pins. And dun, 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 we're adding access to Data Axle right there in your mobile sales app. So instead of going into Salesforce, going into B2B prospects, right? There's so different clicks, exporting to Salesforce and then sending it into the mobile sales app. Here, you're going to sign right into Data Axle and get those leads exported into the mobile sales app without having to go through Salesforce. The other great thing too is when you do that, our app is getting smarter. It's going to be able to track and say, hey, in this business, you said that there was 8 employees, and from what we're seeing, you were able to protect 5 and 3 are not protected. So no employee left behind. You're going to be able to track and make sure that you stop in. So if you're in the neighborhood and you notice that you haven't spoken to 3 folks at that business, pop in. You might be able to catch them. So it's going to help keep track of those numbers for you and help you be more effective in the field. In addition to that, on the list, since the list is not going away, we're also making it so that you can see when sales convert. So currently, when prospects convert into a policyholder, it almost creates like a separate different pin. Those are getting combined and they're just going to be a lot of conversions that are happening. So that's going to be helpful too. So now we're in release 3. And if you take a look, we're talking about bringing in now your whole book of business and having that live in the mobile sales app for you. That means that you're going to get to know what happens to a policy overnight. So for those of you that wait for your agent register or sometimes wait to see in CRM what's been changed, now when you sign in to the mobile sales app every day, again, this is release 3, you'll get a little pop-up that says, hey, this is you've had a couple of changes happen on your policies, your active book of business. Come take a look what happened. And then you can track and catch the same day when someone tries to cancel, or if somebody has a bank draft that they changed their bank, forgot about, or a new policy follow-up, someone you sold to 30 days ago, and you can now go back and solidify that sale. So this is going to give you so much insight into what's happening in your own book of business. In addition to that, again, we keep beefing up that list as well because there are people that love to use it. We're adding also pins by status to that list, which makes that sortable. Again, if you're sorting and looking by a specific status, for example, show me folks that were unavailable that day, you can do that from here. So very helpful. In addition to that, we're beefing up the filter. So that's a big thing with all the book of business in there and all of your leads and not only Data Axle prospects, but even your own business prospects. We want to make sure that the filtering capabilities are the best. So we're going to add an enhanced filter. You'll be able to pick to filter by date, by status, and also lead type. Again, if you just want to see a specific type of status or a specific type of lead, you'll be able to filter that on the map and see exactly what you need in front of you. We are also not going to be deleting completely or erasing all of your leads. If something ages out, for example, from Salesforce, you have like termed policies. Those age out after 90 days because of the reinstatement period. But it's nice to be able to see what that person had back in the day. So when you delete, quote unquote delete, but remove pins, those will stay actually in the background, and you can turn that on and off to be able to see those if you want to. So your notes that you capture will stay in your mobile sales app with those leads as well. So that's very helpful for history. Other thing we heard you all say is, it's kind of cumbersome when I'm trying to delete or remove leads from my device. We're making it so that you can enter an edit mode and tap, 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 tap. Whatever you need to get deleted, you can remove it in that way instead of having to tap more info and then the trash can and then yes, delete to each and every single lead. So this way you can remove easily in a batch process. Another thing we heard you guys say is, hey, I use my Google Map app for my calendar. I use my cell phone for my calendar for appointments. I work by appointment sometimes. You're going to be able to come to the page of the lead and say, oh, I have an appointment at this time. Let me share this. You'll have a share button to send it over to your calendar. So that's pretty cool because you'll get to track those appointments however you use your calendar. Now we're in release 4. So what's happening is we're going to be linking your prospects that are when you don't have an active lead and header. Okay. Some of the benefits of having an active lead and header is you get things auto-populated in the app. Also, it records what's happening, the history, right? The activity that lead's experiencing. But sometimes we're just running and gunning, so we don't always go to the leads page to put them in the active header. Well, our app is getting smarter. So in release 4, if you happen to forget that and you do a prospect and you fill out the demographics page, right? And either you sell or you don't sell, it doesn't matter. The app is smart enough to say, oh, this lead that they just talked to and collected information for, it actually matches exactly a lead that they already have in their leads page. So the system will retroactively take your brand new prospect and make sure it gets combined in the right lead. So you never lose that visibility and history. Okay, so again, more control, more insight into what activities you guys are doing. In addition to that, we also added more filter capabilities, like maybe you work by county, maybe you work by city, or a specific employer, right? You'll have a drop down for that. And the cool thing too is you can still search. So if you're putting county and you're looking for a specific name in that county, it's going to help find that person's name a lot simpler. And then in release 4, we're also we brought in already B2B, but we're looking at bringing in residential prospects as well. So if you're in an area, right, and you already drove there and maybe your appointment is finished, hey, let's make it count, right? Let's pull up some of those residential prospects right where you are and bring them in. And you basically have a built-in pre-approach map already for you. Bingo, right? Your $1,000 app day just became a $2,000 app day, right? So you make it count. In addition to that, in release 4, we're giving you more insight into what happens to that policy you submit from the app. So once you submit it, it's going to stay tracked. So you can go and check to see when are you going to be paid advances, right? You can see right there in your mobile sales app, did it get pended and why did it get pended? And you'll also know when will you receive production credit for and which week. So again, we're giving you more. We're trying to bring things and make things more usable for you in the system. So when is all of this stuff happening? Well, guys, write this down. Every last Thursday of the month, right? So this is the 30th coming up pretty soon. Every last Thursday of the month, myself and Megan Moffitt, our mobile technology specialist, we create this like newsletter for y'all. It's got updates of what's changing, what's coming, tips and tricks, recommendations, important things you need to know, all that stuff about technology. It's going to be in there for you. So make sure you're checking that out once a month. Give it a read. You might find something that just makes your week, right? So I want to remind you guys to check that out. And we do have a lot of other resources coming for y'all, but the one that most excites me, I should say, like Lee, I want to jump in and learn more about CRM. That's a big thing. I want to learn more about how to use that. There's so many things. Well, listen, we have some resources for you. So in Salesforce, there's knowledge articles that do step-by-step pictures of specific things. So if you want to go a little slower and read something step-by-step alongside your app, your mobile sales app, your excuse me, your web browser, you can do that right then and there. We also have deeper dives. So if you've got 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes a day, and you want to review some of those more deeper dive webinars we take a topic. Okay, this is found in Fit as well, but we take a topic and we kind of really just discuss it and go into detail. And that's available to you in Fit if you want to watch that. And for those that prefer just shorter, quick how-to demo videos to take a look at what things can do, this is going to be on your homepage. Okay, you will see it, you'll be able to download it. But instead of going into Fit and looking at all the individual videos, you can just look at this sheet. It's going to tell you what the video is about, like a summary. And if that's something you want to learn more about or interests you, or maybe you're training somebody, right? You can just click right there and it will open up the video. So you don't have to go trying to scramble around looking for that one thing. And the learning pathway. This is a program that we are launching at the end of the month here on the 30th. But we hear it was like, Lee, I love that you've got all these videos. I've seen some of the Salesforce guides. There's all these things you have access to, but I just don't know where to start, or I just don't remember where things are at the end. We hear you. I've made it so simple. We've got a learning pathway. Okay. It's a steps. I would say it's 13 steps. Okay. Each step is going to have a video, and then it will reference some pages, specific pages in your Salesforce user guide in case you want to go deeper into that topic. And also it connects to any knowledge articles in Salesforce if you want to read more about it. So for yourself, if you're learning or want to just discover what it is that CRM can do and how it can be useful in your business, right? You can come right there. The first step is the simplest, and they all build upon each other to make it so that by the end of it, you'll know CRM. And we're including this fun little challenge too. Maybe you guys do that in your teams, right? When you're training somebody new, it's those 7 steps. And if you can do those 7 steps by memory, you've demonstrated to yourself that you know CRM and you're able to utilize it for your business. So that's coming out on the 30th. Look for that in your emails with our technology guide. So with that, I don't know, do I have any time left? Van, I don't. Where's my clock here? I'm open to questions if we've got some time.
Yeah, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes for a couple of questions. So, guys, a great opportunity for you to ask anything that you've asked your team leader or your agency owner about, and they go, I don't know.
Ask me.
Leaves the person to ask.
Hey, one question I had last week during with Blake and those guys. So you
Mhm.
can go in now and like edit, say, a business owner's name or phone number or something like that. Is that possible now?
So it's possible if you are dropping your own business leads, you can edit anything when you do
Okay.
it yourself, right?
Gotcha.
Now, if you're talking about the leads that come from Data Axle, those you can edit primary and secondary contact information. Mhm. Good question. Let's see, anybody else?
Lee, thanks for being on. Quick question. So a lot of us are coming from a former CRM,
Mhm.
Sales Rabbit. Is there ever going to be an opportunity to where we can transfer all those leads over to the new CRM?
You could do that already now, actually. So we have what's called an import function. Okay, it is controlled at the agency level. So Van or your CRM admin would be the one to help out with that. But there is a way to do that, absolutely. So just Van, you can always reach out to me, and when you start having some of those inquiries come in. But absolutely, you won't lose those leads that you're using from another CRM.
Lee, is there anything specific that I need to do on my end? Just let my admin know that Zach wants to import, and then just let him go for it. Okay.
Yep, and they could reach out, and we could work together and get that all those imported leads into y'all's system.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for being on. This is Jeremiah. I just saw it's actually more of like a nugget. Is there ever gonna possibly be a chance to conduct live business on the sales app?
The answer
that
is
in the works?
yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yep. As
Awesome.
we have obviously we have a team we work with, and there's a lot of things. We've already started some of the research phase. That's a lot of stuff has been starting to get transitioned, but we begin after these 4 releases, we'll take a look at that, right, to bring it in. But we do plan on bringing live products into the mobile sales app.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, that's awesome. The life products you're talking about, Lee, is there a timeline on that would be available?
I don't have the timeline specifically, but I know it's on the docket for this year.
Awesome.
Somebody's pizza's done. I heard the
That's it. Or coffee.
or coffee.
Hey guys, I will say anybody that has been on Sales Rabbit and does have leads that you would like to import over, here's what you do. Send an email to Nicole asking for her to do as much and copy me on that email. Anytime you want to see something done by someone I employ, copy me on that email, and it's likely that it'll get done a little bit faster. So just make the request. Lee, thank you so very much for carving out some time so early in your day to be on here and share your knowledge with us. It's very exciting what's on the horizon, and it's exciting to see that something that's started off kind of challenging, maybe some clunky parts to it, but that's normal with everything. Starts off with challenges, but you guys have listened to the sales force and you have made the adjustments, and you are continuing to make those adjustments. And I want to, on behalf of our two agencies, thank you for doing all that and for taking the time to show us how to use it. So
Yeah, awesome.
guys, the real key with this right now is take this knowledge and go put it into action today. If you do not, something called the law of diminishing intent does kick in. And that just simply says that the longer you go between using something new, learning about it and using it, the less percent chance is that you'll do it. So put it into action today, get out there, make it happen, mess it up, do review, and that's how you get better at this. So guys, thanks for being on here. Let's go out and have an awesome day. Have a great day, Lee.